And so I would begin there.
Wonderful. It's great to know that, because when you think of appraising, you think about, okay, how much money I can get for something.
Yes.
That's from a business mindset. But it's good to know that you have some appraisers who understand history, the sentimental value of things as far as passing from generation to generation, so that your grandchildren can look back one day and say, this is a picture of your dad while he was in World War II,
Yes.
or something like, to that magnitude. So it's a blessing to know that we have people out there thinking that way, and not just about, how much money can we get for each piece. Now, let's say, for instance, you've given me consultation, okay? And after you've given me consultation, now we've concluded that there's a couple of pieces I'm going to keep, okay? The rest I do want to be appraised and sold. What would be your next step? What would you do after that? After we sort of consulted, I've agreed to what pieces I would like to keep and pass down to my children or grandchildren, okay? Now, what do you do?
Honestly, at that point, as an appraiser, there are a few things that I could do.
Okay.
I could appraise those pieces for market value, but personally, at that point, I would recommend an auction house to the client, because auction houses do provide valuation. And so why should my client have to pay for something that is going to be a part of them, the process of them getting something liquidated? So in working with an auction house, they will come in and they will value the items for you and provide an auction estimate as they prepare the items to be sold in their auction.
Wow, that's great. So the auction house comes in. Do you have to do anything in reference to the auction house and me as a client from that point onward?
I can continue to work as a between if it's something that the client is too busy to have a lot of hands-on. I've done that before as kind of a between with a client and an institution. Or I can put them in contact with a point person at the auction house, and they can work directly with that auction house themselves.
Wow. What are some of the most amazing stories you've heard about people discovering, let's say, for instance, they had a treasure right within grasp? You may not have personally evaluated this particular thing, but something you probably read about. What is one of the most remarkable stories you heard about, like somebody having a treasure right there in their house and they probably didn't even know it?
Well, I would say not from an appraising standpoint, but from an estate sales standpoint. I think one of the most fascinating stories that I ever heard from a woman who owned a company in this area is that they went into a home to do an estate sale, and they were tagging the items, pricing them, and they noticed in the wallpaper that there was kind of this wrinkle behind the wallpaper. And so they were bold enough to tear the wallpaper away, and behind it there was a safe, and in that safe was jewelry. Very high-end Tiffany Cartier type jewelry.
Wow.
That they were able to liquidate for the estate. But if they had not been bold enough to risk destroying the property inside the home to the extent to find out what was behind that wallpaper, those pieces might still be hidden today.
That's incredible. Wow. Do you think that those same people can come to my house and tear down all my wallpaper to make sure there's nothing? No, I don't think my house is built that far along, but that's an amazing story. Well, it sounds like a very exciting career path for you.
Thank you.
And I'm really happy for you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to display your name and also your website information. Can you just briefly tell me, if I was to go to your website, what can I expect?
When you go to my website, what you'll see is a reference to the work that I do, appraising or estate sales, though my focus now is more on appraising and actually consultations. I'm moving into more asset management, people who have collected some things, who want to understand how to manage their assets, whether they want to, again, reserve some pieces and hold on to them, whether they'd like to donate to an alumni or to a museum, or whether they want to liquidate some of the items, how to kind of manage that whole process. And so I'm beginning to do more work like that.
Beautiful. Well, Janice, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
And we appreciate you displaying this piece that has so much sentimental value, and also it speaks heavily to the African American culture. I'm Dana Thompson, and I would like to thank you for watching the Apostolic Forum. Remember, be in tune for the credits afterwards, and you should see Janice's website and also her phone number. So if you need estate planning, if you need appraising or asset management, you may want to contact Janice. I've worked with her personally. I highly recommend her. She's a woman of character. She's a businesswoman. Also, she's a nice, loving woman. Goodbye. Hope to see you on the next program.